Some of the growth is the development of the plant whole of a specific organ. Some of the beside the genetic factors, environmental factors influence the plant growth. The important things are the temperature, water supply, radiant energy, and next one composition of the atmospheric. Some factors are the can be grouped into climatic factors and soil factors. Most of the interdependent. Next one is the raw material of the, for example, carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, water molecules, and mineral nutrients required for the synthetic machinery of plants are derived from the atmosphere and the soil. The primary source of the energy photosynthesis is the sunlight. The aspects and the mineral nutrient supply to the plants and the role of soil in this process are highly complicated. The elements are considered essential for the plant growth are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, manganese. These are the all are the metals are the heavy. mm, Macro elements and the micro elements also they can use for the preparation of the soil. Okay. The health and growth of the plants generally depend upon the type of the soil, availability of the water and nutrients. In view of this, the awareness of the soil types is increased the recent year achievement is the high yield. The essential understood of the nature soil types, the soil and the influence of the soil and on environment. Rapid accumulation of knowledge in the recent years on soil has created need for the separate branch named the pedagogy. Pedagogy means study of the soils. The word derived from the Greek pedo means soil and logos means study. Is the Greek word. Is a systematic study of the soil science. Okay, what are the nature of the soil? What are the nature of the soil? Most of the world population and are tillers of the soil and live close to the soil because of its the importance. The soil is the integrally and intimately connected with rocks beneath the vegetation growing above the and the water percolating through the on the other words it is as the microclimatic within the vegetation growing above and the water percolating through the it is. Soil consists of the products of weathering of the rocks intermixed with the living organisms and the products of their decay, the moisture and the air filling the inter, interstitial space. And other word is the soil as the microclimate of its own, controlled by Okay, nature of the soil. Soil consists of the product of weathering of rocks intermixed with the living organism and the products of their decay and the moisture air filtering of the interstitial space. The silt of the particles consisting of the framework and the clays of the organic matter hold together framework, the servicing the nutrient base. The colloidal clays and the humus will have the capacity for the action exchange and the attract the molecules of water which form sort of atmosphere around the clay of the particles. Water attracting of the water holding capacity of the colloidal humus and the clays that keep the soil moist even the during of the dry season. The soil is living the system and it is the endowed with then the internal micro atmosphere of air, vapor, and it is the capable supporting vegetation, the promoting various biological and biochemical process. Some of the geologists consider the soil as the upper part of the weathered material resting on the bedrock and the contain organic nutrients, but the environmentalists saying the soil is a dynamic living layer forming foundation of all ecosystem. The farmers and horticulturists are the depends upon the soil are the more concerned with the primary production of system. It not only sustain and nourishment the primary production but also acts as the passage and store of the groundwater. It is the essential for survival after the uh, cessation of the rainfall. There are two major categories of the soil: one in situ or zonal soil, and draft or azonal soil. In situ, zonal soil, a drift or azonal soil. The category usually occur in the relatively flat and un, un, undulating areas which are the formed as a result of the weathering. The second category soils formed the colloidal, em- colloidal soil, and the alluvial soil, riverborne deposits of the transported soil. These are the very colloidal soil is the very fertile soil. Alluvial soil also the very fertile soil. There is a there number of micronutrients, macronutrients also they can see into the in alluvial soil. What are the soil profile? Next topic is the soil profile. In soil profile also, during development of soil from given parent material, the actual transformation procedure through the certain recognizable stages. In section of all soil, the stages may appear as the series of zones with the contrasting properties. Such zones are that are the arranged in the descending order and that is the indicate different stage in the development of soil is collectively referred as the soil profile. The soil profile is the composed of the three zones. One is the A origin. Next one is the topsoil. B origin. C origin. A origin, the uppermost part of the soil is known as the top of the soil or A origin. Generally, the characterized finally divide into particles and extend from the few centimeters to as the much as on 1 meter below the surface. The thickness of the topsoil varies from place to place depending upon the composition of the parental bedrocks, topography, climate conditions, groundwater, and the living environment. The A origin support the life through it's the contended that is the humans, mineral nutrients, moisture, and air. The topsoil may be the further subdivided into layers A1, A2, A3, the base of the progressive stage of the humification of contained organic matter. The topsoil approximately is the 1 meter depth. Again, the second one is the B origin. B origin is the lies below the A origin. The thickness of the B origin varies from the few centimeters to 1 meter. The zone comprises of mineral-rich soil, which is the organic matter occurs in small amount, owing it's the decomposition, but the secondarily enriched in solute materials. C origin. It is the basal zone characterized by the coarse grain, rather pebbly texture. Practically, it is the make a transition zone between the actual solid rock and the finally decomposed rocks. The first one, A origin, is the topsoil. Okay, and next one is the B origin is they are containing the organic matter. Okay, different types of the soil materials. The C is the mostly coarse grained, especially some of the rock, the practical mix, some of the rocks in the finally decomposed rocks. In the Himalayan region of the steppes in the slopes also have usually very thin cover of the soil without evidence in the maturity and the commonly highly leached out and the less productivity. What are the soil properties? What is the actually soil phase is the broadly composed the inorganic and the organic constituents. Soils having the greater than 20% of the organic constituents is also called as the organic soil. Greater than 20%. 20% organic uh, constituted. Inorganic constituents soil primary minerals, secondary minerals, calcium carbonate, soluble salts, and pre-oxidized silicon, iron, and aluminum. Aluminum also they're containing the soil, some of the soils. The source of the organic constant are plants and animals. The source of the organic constants are the plants and animals, and billions of organisms, macro and the micro, thrives in the debris of animals and plants and the soil organic matter. When these are the organisms die, chain of the biological activity start, which is new organism take the work of the old ones. The stages come from the formation of the new bodies and the decay of old organisms are at the equilibrium under the prevailing soil and the climatic conditions. The process of the microbial decomposition of the organic material, most of them are the fully decomposed but small part of the transformed into new products which get the mixed with up with the soil and become the ingredient. It is called as the soil humus. Soil humus also is very important, mainly the with the weathering process, especially the litter formation, some of the uh, fallen leaves, all are the form to the humus. What are the importance of the humus? Humus also main important is they can grow the number of plants and the humus and humus like fractions and other metabolic compounds soil phase constitute the soil organic matter. The organic matter covers most of the soil in India, less than 2%. What are the physical properties of the soil? Particle size and shape. Size limit to different soil particles. Gravel size is the greater than 2 according to international system, and the USDA system also greater than 2 mm. Very coarse sand, international system 2 mm to 1 mm. Coarse sand 1 mm to 0.5. In the international USDA system is also 2 to 0.2 mm. Medium sand 0.5 to 0.25. The fine sand 0.25 to 0.1 USDA. These are the clay. Clay is the very important. Clay also less than 0.02 international system, and the USDA system also less than 0.002. Are the particle size and shape also very important. Textural classes, the relative proportion of the distinct size particles in the soil known as the texture. When the coarse fraction of the dominates, it is also called the coarse textured soil. And next one is mm, when the fine fraction dominates, it is the called fine textured and intermediately as medium textured. The small and large particles differ the greatly with the respect of physical properties and chemical composition. These particles have the larger voids, they can be not hold the water. The silt particle also intermediate size between the sand and clay. They're more reactive than the sand due to the higher specific surface. They are the made of the secondary minerals is called the aluminum silicates with highly reactive surface area. Retention of the water and the nutrients also very high for the clay particles, especially clay particles also high retention of the minerals. Okay, the highly reactive surface area, retention of water and the nutrients also very high clay particles. Some of the important properties of the influence plant growth, movement and the availability of water, aeration, work ability, nutrient content and the availability. Sandy soils are the high permeable and excessively well drained with the low water retention capacity. These are the need more frequent irrigation for the successful crop growth than the fine textured soils. The clay soils can hold the more moisture, but they have the high wilting point due to the poor infiltration rate of the soils to waterlogging, resulting in poor aeration and lower ability. Color also very important. Color signifies soil condition is the many important properties. Soil in certain color due to the pseudochemical reactions and degrees of oxidation, hydration, and different diffusion of iron oxides in the soils maybe bring either the red, yellow, brown color, darker soil. Actually, in Telangana region, most of the red color soils also available in the South Telangana, especially Mavu, Nagar, Nalgonda, South Telangana, red soils. Mainly are the growing the some of the dry land crops, maize and Arachis hypoxia, some of the millets, especially of the cotton. Mainly the cotton also growing in the black soil. The black soil also they can see into the North Telangana, Nizamabad, Warangal, Adilabad, Adilabad districts. Okay, these are the color black soil. Main red soil also containing the iron oxides. This one is the density of the soil. Larger particles of soils behavior is in weight for the unit value than the smaller particles. Particle density, block density, pore space also very important. The portion of the soil occupied by air and water is the termed as the pore space. Low pore space of about 30% is common for sandy, whereas the clay may have the pore space of the much is the 50 to 60% of the two kinds of the macro and the micro elements. Soil temperature also very important. Soil temperature control the microbiological activity and other plant growth process has been found in the role of the organic matter decomposition and the mineralization of the organic form. Nitrogen increases with temperature. The color, composition, and water content of the soils influence temperature. Temperature dark and fine the textured soils absorb the heat during the day of the and lose during the night more quickly than the light textured soils. Soil air, it is the established fact that the restricted soil air affects root development, respiration, and the other biological process, and can thus the change of the soil environment. Normally, one by third of the pore space is the soil filled with air, and two by third of by the water. And the plant growth assumed to be the optimum. The measurement affection status in the soil has been the reported in the oxygen diffusion rates, soil air, soil water. Soil, the maximum influence of the growth and yield of the crop depends on availability. Water since required for the higher quantity than the other substances contributing growth and the water. Soil water retention, they are also important. Three important factors which is control the free energy soil water metric in the osmotic and the gravity. So as the retention of water soil concerned, there can be four different soil water constants given the so maximum water holding capacity, field capacity, permanent wilting point, hygroscopic coefficient. Classification of the soil water, gravitational water. These are the very important. Water above the field capacity is also called as gravitational since it is the remain in soils for the shorter time. Gravitational water is the limited use for the plants. Capacity water, these are the water between 0.12 and 3.31 bar tension is held the capillaries of the soil. Hence the name this water is the mostly available for plant. Next one, hygroscopic water. This water is widely tightly below the permanent wilting coefficient and termed as the hygroscopic water. Except for the microbial activity, almost of the plants fail to absorb the hygroscopic water. Soil structure. Types of the soil structure, flatty. Next one is the prism-like, blacky-like, spheroidal-like. The class of the soil structure, the five size class of the recognized the primary types of the very fine, fine, medium, coarse, very coarse. The actual size is the class each and type. Grade of the soil structures. Uh, Grades may be structure less, weak, moderate, strong, very strong, depending on the stability of aggregates when the distributed. Factors affecting the soil structure, soil management, primarily into texture, soil management, absorbed cautions, organic matter. In the mineralogical properties, what are the mineralogical properties? Mineralogical properties, clay fraction. Next one is the chemical properties like the soil colloidal, their nature, nutrients, elements of the soil, macro elements and the micro elements. What are the macro elements? Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. Cation, The red soils are the generally distributed in the especially Tamil Nadu, Mysore, some the southeast of the Bombay, east of the Hyderabad, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Bihar, Bengal, Uttar Pradesh. Black soils. These soils are the fine grained and the very derived from the decomposition and decaying of the basalts and ferruginous genesis. Behavior towards the moisture content is the characteristic feature of the soils. It becomes the accidentally sticky when wet and undergo considerable contraction on the day. The black soil consists of the high quantities of the iron, aluminum, and the magnesia, whereas the phosphorus, nitrogen, organic matter is poor in the percentage. The base of the exchange of the black soils are the fairly high. The black soils have been distributed in the widely Maharashtra, western part of the Madhya Pradesh, the part of the Gujarat, some parts of the Tamil Nadu and Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. Indo-Gangetic alluvial soils. These are the referred as the alluvial soils. This type of the soils cover the largest of all soil groups of India. The alluvial soils have been divided into two types on this Kankar concentration and the Kadar and the Bangar soils respectively. The most of the Indo-Gangetic alluvial soils spread over of the northern states of India and also Assam, Bengal, Bihar, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh also. Other soils, the soils of the light and color, less canker and the more silicous in the composition. It composes the never deposits. Bangar soil, the soils are so dark in color with the high canker concentration. There are the more clay composition and the older alluvial deposits. Laterite soils. The soils are the formed results from the decay of many types of the rocks. There is the much controversy among the soil scientists with regards of the origin. Laterite soils also loss of silica from the soil profile occurs and enrichment of the hydrated oxide aluminum results under the warm. Humid and the monsoonic conditions such as the process is referred as a lateritism and the resultant soils are known as the lateric soils. Lateral soils kind of the vascular rock composed essentially mixture of hydrated oxides, aluminum and iron with a small percentage of oxides. The soils are the spread over the mainly in the hills of the Deccan, Mysore, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Assam. They are the laterite soils. Next one, some of the miscellaneous soils also mainly forest and hill soils, desert soils. Forest and hill soils especially are the occur along the mountain slopes and the valley in the forest regions. The mode of the formation of the soils are generally controlled by the factors like geological and topographic climate and vegetation of the mountain range. These soils show the high content of organic matter and nitrogen. They show the great variation in their chemical and the mechanical composition. The forest and hilly soils are the well developed in Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, eastern and western Ghats, Jammu Kashmir, and the triad regions of the Uttar Pradesh, or the triad regions of some soils, mainly the desert soils. This type of the large part of the soils are desert soils are distributed in the Gujarat and Rajasthan, northern western India, covering of the 440,000 square millimeters. Next one is the saline, the alkaline soils. The saline soils are the salt imprinted soil. The characteristics of the soils that they contain undercompose the mineral fragmentation, which is on weathering, liberate sodium, magnesium, and the calcium salts. The salts are conformed to the top layers of the concentration limited. Petty and the marshy soils. The petty soils are the developed in some parts of the Kerala The soil is the soil erosion. What is the meaning of the erosion? Erosion means the remove of the upper layer. The soil erosion of the environment as a recent losses it the fertility and converts up into the deserts. They are converted to the deserts. Okay, erosion, the physical removal surface of the soil through the action of water and wind, resulting loss of soil fertility, degree greatly affecting crop fields and rainfed areas. Sheet erosion, rail erosion, gully erosion, sheet erosion, all are the types of the erosion. Water erosion, mainly water erosion also controlled by the what are the main to reduce the dispersion of the soil particles, to reduce the surface of the runoff, to put mechanical obstruction in way of the flowing water. These objectives can be achieved by different types of the wind erosion is one type of the control of the what are the mainly what are the principles of the controlling of the wind erosion? Reduce the wind velocity of the ground level, remove the sedimentary from the wind stream, reduce erodibility of the soil. These are the wind erosion. Next one is the land is of the soil erosion in India, different of the percentage also. The soils and environmental pollution, soils and nature of the despise all sewage treatment plant, the water purified and the times of the pollutant. Many toxins added to the soil can be built up. The concentration of the become the serious threats of the plant and the animal health. Some toxic substances become the residential soil, perhaps will process the before they will be removed. Agriculture does cause the pollution, but so do all the other activities. The use of the pesticides and the agriculture major cause of the early movements of reduce the environmental pollution, detect the against the pesticides causes of the pollution. Important facts to solve main definition: bioaccumulating pollution, eutrophication, half-life of the heavy metals, pesticides, organic radioactivity. The serious nutrient of the pollution water is then the alternative are available. Sooner. Pollution affected through the some of the fertilizers. What is the mean of the eutrophication mean? The fertilizer is the increasing growth of the crop, also increasing the algal growth of the surface of the water into the which they are the washed. The increase in the water fertility, which causes the accumulated algae in the water plant growth of the called eutrophication. Some of the effect of the pollution, acid rains, ozone layer depletion. Okay, next one is the pesticide problems and extent of the pollution, wastewater added to the soils, solid wastes applied to the soils, sewage sludges, food processing wastes, industrial sludges, soluble salts, soil sedimentation are the pollutants. Means are the effect of the air quality. Agriculture produces pollutants are there the as well as water, particle, particulates that add by the wind erosion in the unpolluted soils. The ultimate pollutant again are the land resources, soil erosion, the main soil erosion, accelerate the erosion of the overgrazing, the top of the soil process of the living beings, the top of soil being the continuously endured the different natural agents like the air, water, accumulated due to the overgrazing, deforestation, mining. Two types of the agents: soil erosion, water, and the wind. The accumulated is in the mining, accumulated erosion of the deforestation, water induced the erosion, the sheet erosion, fill erosion, slip erosion. Sheet is all are the erosion types of the erosion. Slip is are the different types of the erosions. Okay, wind erosion, landslides. This Hugi mouse of landslide destroying anything of their own path, man-made of the activities like developmental activities like you can prepare the large dams, reservoirs, construction of the roads, and the required large scale of deforestation. Earthquake, earthquake also include the landslides. Different is the rainfall induces the landslides. The landslides, the desertification, the process of the conversion of the productivity land, arid, the semi-arid lands, 10 to 25% of the drop in the productivity in moderate desertification. More than 50% of the serious desertification creates the gullies and sand dunes. Waterlogging also and salinity also one type of the excessive result of excessive irrigation. Pore space filled with the water. Roots cannot be breathy, especially mangrove plants. They can produce the mangrove plants. Make the continuous column with the water, and the water evaporates the leaves behind the white crust of the salt, and it is the extremely high in sodium quantity. Next one, animal resources, especially plant resources, natural resources, land resources. Next one, some of the animal products also, animal resources, land resources. Animals used for the food and health and nutrition. Milk and meat is the animal resources. Do the applies some milk products and the eggs, some of the cheese products, which are the bigger health chemicals of the bacteria and food. Some of the level animal foods as also they can use for the milk and the food safety, premium cost of the premisa, animal resource also. modern methods are mainly genetic resources, meat, and next one is the meat-borne different types of the foods. The improve of the iron levels should be the they can use for the eat of the spinach and livers. The animal products is the liver, the plant products are the spinach. Milk also they can improve of the food quality of the health. Iron and calcium is a very high in preservation and conservation of the meat, especially in Telangana, Singincherla, poultry also throughout the India, the Telangana and the Andhra Pradesh also egg, especially egg producing of the number one state of Telangana. Poultry also one of the aspect of the animal resources. Some of the poultry equipment, poultry methods. Fisheries also these are the one of the animal resources. Inland fisheries, some of Ganga River system, fish, fish, fish seed resources, and next one the Brahmaputra River system, fisheries, East Coast River system, especially in some of the fish reservoirs, some of the fishes, Ganga, Indu River, in the eastern coast and west coast of rivers, Chambal, Ganga, Satluj, Mahanandi, Krishna, Kaveri, Periyar, Tapti, all are the rivers are the mainly they can see to the different types of the fish, katla. Development of the reservoir, the fisheries, some of the merits of the construction of the reservoirs, the production of the catchy rate of the fish can be increased the taking of the good measures and the techniques, the merits, alternation and manipulation of the hydrological regimes in increasing the fish growth rate of that the higher sustainability itself can be achieved. Transplantation and the accumulation increase the yield of the reservoirs. Reservoirs are the means and the measures of control floods and the catastrophic events. Reservoirs of the means is the measures of the control increasing production through the culture and the exotics of the generally viable species of the thereby the filling of the unoccupied ecological niches through the polyculture techniques, provision for the recreation of the navigation, irrigation, agriculture, and the hydroelectric power generation. Some of the demerits of the construction of the reservoirs, loss of the replenishing stocks, antrums, food fishes because of the dam construction leads the booking of the majority of the chemical treatment of the and pollution. Pond and tanks of the fisheries, ocean fishing, the social implication of the or are the animal products also, environmental issues with the livestock, mainly Animal production of the rates of percentage, the major livestock production, according to FAO, ruminant meat in the developing countries, that means for the 4.3, and developed countries are the 2%, in the 4 8.5, the poultry 12.1 in the developing countries, milk 3.4, the eggs are the 9.4, the livestock and grazing of the lands, livestock in the croplands, environmental changes. What are the environmental changes? Say, animal research, mainly the genetic animals, especially most of the nowadays, most of the people are using genetic crops and the genetic animals and the plants. Land degradation. What are the environmental changes? The balance between the human needs and the natural resource requirements will depend of the large extent what do the animal production. Some of the livestock associated environmental. Land degradation on the semi-arid lands, India is the Africa causes of the complex set of the factors involving man and the livestock, crop encroachment and the marginal areas and fuel food collection, land tenure, the settlement and the incentive policies of the undermined traditional use of the practice in the contributed for the degradation to the livestock for the deforestation and the ranching pushes into the remaining rainforest frontiers, misguided of the policies where the expenditure of the ranching to the obtain land titles and the fiscal incentives have the encouraged the extensive grazing large scale clearance of the forest. Some of the significant biodiversity losses associated with the such deforestation. Some of the populated areas, Asia, animal waste production exclude the absorptive capacity, land and water, continuous nutritional impact results over the salinization of nutrients with the developing countries. The slaughterhouse release the large amount of the waste into the environment and polluting land surface areas, well as the posting of the serious human health risk. Role of the livestock environment protection and the main types of the environmental goods and the services appropriate the benefit sharing here. The first, those environmental services provided by the livestock production that have the ecological function values, including the maintenance of terrestrial ecosystem and the cycling soil fertility, enhancing of the as well as the carbon sequestration, the preservation of the wildlife and the other forms of the biodiversity. Those environmental goods of the services will the direct use of the values to the society lives and which livestock production helps to provide. Next one, animal wastes of the and its management also fallen of the sludge and animal wastages, animal organic wastages, environmental problems. Those are some of the environmental problems. The integrated the crop livestock fishing farming, the animal bioproducts waste is also the can for the dairy waves, one of the largest wastes of the dairy industry, results from the production of the cheese. The production of the cheese about the 9 kg we have the produced the for 1 kg cheese produced. The policy reason with the environmental production, the all are the uses in the animal resources and the plant resources and especially land resources. Thank you.